Welcome to another Sunday Alexa's World, guys. So for our first quick topic today, what you see in this bag here are two pre-cut air filter tips. This brown one was used in a joint, and this white one wasn't used at all. Ever since my joint rolling episode where I said that those do-it-yourself rolled up air filters that you can make provide no actual health protection, people have been asking me, well, what about those thick prepackaged air filter tips? Those filter tips you saw came out of this package. Do these protect your health? Well, even though that brown filter looked really impressive because it looked really dirty, there's plenty of unbiased research showing that the only thing these filters keep out of your lungs is a small fraction of the tar. Health-wise, even the fanciest prepackaged air filters do next to nothing for your health. If you really care about reducing the impact on your body, vaporize or cook your weed. That said, pre-cut air filter tips are very convenient for making a joint easy to hold and suck back on, so some people like them. Now on to the headline topic. I've had a couple questions on how caffeine interacts with weed. Well, combining coffee and weed is in fact a lot more common than many think. In some European countries, coffee and weed is considered to be a very ordinary and long-used combination. Now, coffee is a stimulant, and marijuana is a relaxant, but it does also speed up the heart. And if you smoke a sativa strain, it can also feel like a stimulant. As a result, if you combine coffee with a sativa strain that's very high energy, what you will get is the stimulation from both, and it will be pretty intense. If you combine coffee with an indica-dominant strain that makes you feel more couch-locked, you will end up somewhere in between the two while clearly feeling both stoned and buzzed on the caffeine. Now, obviously there's a lot of variable factors at work here, the biggest being tolerance. What is your tolerance to cannabis or caffeine? I just described a scenario that applies to people who have a bit of tolerance to both substances. But if you're like me, a regular marijuana smoker, but someone who rarely consumes caffeine, any cannabis strain and coffee combination would put me on the stimulated side. So, if you're someone who has no weed tolerance but strong coffee tolerance, you'll barely notice the coffee. As you've gathered, this logic also dispels the old myth that coffee can kill your high. You might get that perception under the right set of circumstances, but it's not like caffeine counteracts THC. But before you jump on playing with weed and coffee every day, there is the health side of it too. How does ingesting both of these drugs at the same time impact your health? It's hard to say, and there's no pile of studies, but doing it regularly can't be good for you. Both weed and caffeine increase heart rate, so combining them isn't good on that front. Also, coffee is physically addictive, and more addictive than cannabis per capita. Far too many people drink multiple cups of coffee per day. Meanwhile, people can develop a psychological dependence on cannabis, as I've mentioned in prior episodes, which makes me wonder if combining them at all in one sitting is wise. That said, if you want to try it on occasion, have at her. It certainly gets done in places regularly. It can be really interesting. So that's the show for the day. Hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'll see you next time on Alexa's World.